Hey guys, what's up? Darcy here at 6 Strings 9 Lives. Welcome to episode 11 of 6 with 6 Strings. Again, just 6 random albums from my collection. Lots inspired by you, me watching videos, people showing different albums, maybe hearing a song on the radio that gets me to pull out that album, give it a spin. So in today's episode, we'll start off with a band, in the scheme of things for me, fairly new. Only been listening to these guys for a couple of years. For whatever reason, they passed me by back in the 80s. You would know some of their famous, pretty famous albums like Nosferatu, A Distant Thunder. I'm talking about Hellstar. This one is called This Wicked Nest. It's a 2014 release. Not their newest album. They have one more after this called Vampiro. I don't have that one yet. It's on my list to get. I will get it at some point. Anyways, a great album. And if you know heavy metal vocalists, James Rivera's got to be in the conversation. This guy is phenomenal. What a range. But why I wanted to show this one is if you're, on the fence about checking out some newer Hellstar, I recommend it. These albums, I don't have the newest one, but I have this one and 2 other of the prior ones. Fantastic. Check out the songs. Well, this one just starts off just awesome. US power metal, hints of thrash, tons of melody. If you like stuff like Flotsam and Jetsam, right up your alley with Hellstar. Fall of Dominion, Eternal Black, what a song. Check out the song This Wicked Nest. Wow. You'll be blown away. So check out some newer Hellstar if you haven't, or older Hellstar. You got any recommendations for me, please? I love looking. I look forward to seeing those in the comments. Maybe a band like Hellstar that I haven't heard. Definitely. Next up, kind of Canadian, pretty much Canadian legends in the speed metal category. A little thrash, mostly speed metal, but talking about Canada's Razor. I remember seeing this video on the Pepsi Power Hour here in Canada on Much Music for Evil Invaders, and I was like, what? I've never heard anything like it, quite like it for sure. What an album. Check out songs like Nowhere Fast, Evil Invaders, Iron Hammer, the awesome song Cutthroat. This is one of those shitty digipack, not even a digipack, it's one of those sleeves, and I had this on cassette back in the day, so I've since replaced it with this. Much rather, I'll probably try to get it on vinyl or find the jewel case someday. But anyways, albums like Executioner Song, Malicious Intent, great albums from Razor. And I don't know, I don't think they might be still going, I'm not quite sure. But their early stuff is must-have. Next up, I was rooting through my cassette. I got a Rubbermaid cassette bin with tons of cassettes in there, trying to prioritize which ones I would like to get on CD still. Like I picked up some of those Tesla albums a few weeks back, and this is one I definitely want to get at some point on CD. Bullet Boy's debut from 1988. Show you it that way. What a great album. Produced by Ted Templeman, so you would know him more famously producing a lot of Van Halen, some early Montrose. I think he produced Sammy Hagar's VOA, David Lee Roth, Eat 'Em and Smile. Anyways, Ted Templeman, great producer, but great debut album from the Bullet Boys. I definitely need to get this one on CD. Good to have the old cassette here still from 1988. I bought this, it was bought in 1988, believe it or not. Check out songs Hard as a Rock, Smooth Up In You, Kiss and Kitty, great song. Badlands, Hell on My Heels, cover of For the Love of Money. Really a great debut album. I do know their second album pretty good, Freak Show. And their third album, Zaza. After that, I lost track of these guys, to be honest with you. So if you know of any Bullet Boys after the first 3, you could Are they good? I've never heard them, to be honest with you. First three are really good. First two mostly. Third one not as much, but all produced by Ted Templeman. Yeah, definitely check out some Bullet Boys. All right, fourth up today. I was craving some Megadeth the other day, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna spin this one. Love this album. A lot of fans would think it's, this is what they were leaning towards on albums prior to this a little bit, but a lot of fans thought, they kind of sold out a bit, a little less thrashy, but I love this album. 1997's Cryptic Writings, the last to feature one of the best lineups ever. So this is the last to feature the late, great Nick Menza on drums. Rest in peace, Nick. Great album. I love it. 1997. And this is their 7th overall studio album in 1997. And there's another big band that also had their 7th album come out in 1997 called Reload from Metallica. And I'll tell you, this one absolutely, in my opinion, it crushes Reload. This is just solid top to bottom. Yeah, it's not Peace Cells, but it's a great album. Almost Honest, Use the Man, The Disintegrators, awesome. Secret Place, I love that song. Wraps up with FFF, Fight for Freedom, great tune. And there's also one on here co-written by Brian Howe from Bad Company fame. I'll Get Even, another great song. But yeah, this album, I really enjoy it. It's in a desperate need for a vinyl reissue, as well as some other, there's about 2 or 3 or 3 or 4 Megadeth albums that really need a vinyl reissue. Some of the Capitol Years stuff. But yeah, definitely check out Cryptic Writings if you haven't. Are you just a fan of the early Megadeth? Do you like it all like I do? Just let me know. And I had mentioned the name Brian Howe, which he has featured on this next album, and one of my favorite albums from this artist. And you know what? And Brian Howe does a great job on this album, but sings 7 out of 10 songs on Ted Nugent, Penetrator, 1984, great album. Yeah, I do like some Uncle Ted. I got a few in the collection for sure. Try the song Tied Up in Love, Knocking at Your Door. That's my favorite song on this album. And then you got a couple by Ted, Thunder Thighs, Lean Mean, Rock and Roll Machine. But yeah, Brian Howe, rest in peace. We just lost Brian here in the early part of May of 2020. Definitely need to get some Bad Company in my collection. It's kind of sadly lacking on that. But anyways, Ted Nugent, Penetrator, second album on Atlantic Records from 1984. Great album, check it out. And what do we got here? Finally, usually in these episodes, I like to bring one band back from the previous episode. I didn't do that in this case. I brought this band back all the way from episode 1. And one of my all-time favorite Canadian bands. I mean, if you live here in Canada, you got to know this band. I paid more attention to this band than I did in school. But I'm talking about Rush. And this is their live one, their first live one, All the World's a Stage. Now, this was recorded in 1976 in Toronto at Massey Hall over, I think, a period of 3 nights. This isn't their earliest recordings that you can get. There is earlier stuff, but came out later than this. So this is basically, this album represents their first 4 albums. Their fantastic debut, Fly By Night, Crest of Steel, and the very famous 2112. All the songs on there's the track listing. A lot of songs from those 4 albums. I always love Rush. Yeah, they're not for everybody. That's okay. We all can't like everything, but definitely let me know if you're a fan of Rush. I like all 4 decades of Rush. I'm a fan of everything. It's the one band that I always thought, you know, after each decade, there was always something new, you know, introduction of keyboards, or then back to some more guitar-driven stuff, and then, progressive. Yeah, I do honestly love all the Rush studio albums there and their live stuff. Great live band. Tracks like Bastille Day, Anthem, Fly By Night. Love the song Something for Nothing. On here they do the full, this is on the 2112 tour. So they do the full A-side of 2112. I'm kind of a B-side guy when it comes to that album. Nothing against the A-side, it's fantastic, but I love songs like Something for Nothing, or the song Lessons. Love those songs. And then quite a bit of stuff off their first album here, In the End, or Working Man. I mean, that Canadian, that's just a legendary song here, here in Canada. Anyways, check out some Rush, live Rush, studio album Rush. Yeah. So that is it for this episode. Let me know, do you know some of these bands? Let me know a little more about Hellstar. I don't have their first 2 albums, actually. I should probably check into those. Yeah, looking forward to maybe getting a couple of Bullet Boys on CD. Put those on the list. Some good old Megadeth. Looking forward to a new album from Megadeth. I'm kind of thinking it probably won't be this year, but earlier, you know, first part of 2021. Cross our fingers. Looking forward to some new Megadeth. And that is about it for this episode. And thanks for stopping by. And until next time, stay heavy.